Definitely a audiobook girly. This really does look like an enemies to lovers story. Why do I feel like I'm rooting for the wrong brother? Once I finished the book, I went straight to my library app and downloaded the next audiobook. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I feel like mood reading. I finished Onyx Storm last night and gave that a 4.25 star and decided that I wanted to pick up an audiobook. I found that audiobooks are really great when I'm like walking to work or making dinner or just have some free time to listen to something. I prefer listening to an audiobook over listening to music, although would listen to Taylor Swift as well, but definitely a audiobook girly as well as a physical book and Kindle book girly. I do a mix of all three. So I started a book last night and started the Wren and the Holly Library. When the main character goes and steals something from the monster's house, he gives her a proposition of helping him steal something for him. She takes on this proposition and then the story goes from there. The author's note was quite interesting. In her author's note, she had said she had recently been to Ireland and had based some of her settings off of it or had got some ideas from Ireland when she visited. I am about 30% into the audiobook. It is starting off a little bit slow. I don't know if it's because I've not read an urban romance fantasy before and it's not my thing, or if it's just that it's just got a little bit of a slow start. The first chapter was really gripping, but the rest of it has been a bit slow so far, but I am still intrigued. I'm still going to carry on reading to see where it takes me. It's a couple of days later and I finished the Wren in the Hollywood Library. I was wanting to update you guys at the 70 to 80% mark, but unfortunately my baby girl has been sick the last couple of days, so I've given all my priority and attention to her. She's doing a bit better now, so I thought I would film a bit of my thoughts about the Wren in the Hollywood Library. The Wren, I still can't get the name right. And I mean, by the end of the book, you know why it's called the Wren and the Holly Library, so I really should be able to get the name right now. I ended up giving this book a 3.5 star. The reason why I did that was I enjoyed it, but it wasn't the absolute best read I've ever read. The first 30 to 40%, I think I was telling you guys last time I pulled up the camera, was quite slow, but after that it did end up picking up. From about 40% to the end of the book, I was having a really good time. I feel like the characters were a little bit insta-love or insta-lovey, but they did end up building a bit more of an emotional connection. But yeah, their initial attraction to one another was quite insta-lovey. The other thing I noted was the foreshadowing was a bit too much. The plot twist at the end was quite obvious, I felt. Like I knew that it was going to happen. I was just waiting for it to happen. The one other thing that frustrated me a little bit was the third act breakup. The one main character has to go off and do something and the other main character gets quite upset about it. But I guess they do explain it a little bit later on as to why that main character gets upset, but still at the time it's a bit frustrating. But all in all, I did enjoy it, just not one of the best books I've ever read. There was a cute little line in the book that stuck with me, how the female character describes the main character. He says, he's a monster, but he's my monster. And I thought that was really cute. But yeah, that was my review of the Wren in the Holly Library. The next book I think comes out in June, and it's a duology, so I'm quite excited to pick up the next book, but I'm not feeling like I'm counting down the months, but I will still pick it up in June. Next book that I'm going to pick up is The Crimson Moth. In New Zealand, it's called The Crimson Moth, but I think in the US and other parts of the world, it's called Heartless Hunter. I actually don't know why there are two different names. I need to look that one up. But the second book comes out on the 18th of February. It'll be nice to read the duology. So the premise of the book, the main female character is a witch, but in the last couple of years, witches have been outcast, and if you're found to be a witch, you are made unalive. And she is trying to help other witches in that world. In order to do that, she has to act like a airheaded socialite. She decides to take on a suitor who is a witch hunter, and he suspects the female main character, so he is trying to be her suitor to get closer to her, to figure out who she is. She's trying to get to know him better because she's trying to get more secrets to help the witches. So I thought that would be an interesting read. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is, because my baby girl is asleep, I'm going to put the audiobook on for a little bit and clean up a bit, and then yeah, I'll let you guys know my thoughts soon. I thought I would just pop back in before I put my camera away for the day and let you guys know that I read the first few chapters of The Crimson Moth, or The Heartless Hunter, and I am hooked from the start. It looks like a really, really interesting read. I cannot wait to get further within the book. I'm a couple of chapters in, and the audiobook has been really great so far. This really does look like an enemies to lovers story. You know how lots of romanticises are marketed as enemies to lovers, and then you read it and you're like, oh, were they actually really enemies? But I feel like this book is a true enemies to lovers book, and I'm really glad that the second book's going to come out this month, because I think once I've finished this book, I will want to pick up the next one almost immediately. Yeah, I'll update you guys when I have more to say. It's later in the evening, and I'm about 30% through The Crimson Moth, or The Heartless Hunter, and I am loving it so far. I feel like I am flying through it. Yeah, I've listened to the audiobook this afternoon while I was making some dinner, and I'm just really enjoying it so far. Why do I feel like I am rooting for the wrong brother? Because I'm now at chapter 13. I feel like I've gotten to know Alex more than Gideon so far, and I feel like I'm rooting for Alex, but I'm sure that will change. Yeah. Chapter 10 was really intense. It was the truth-telling scene. I don't want to say more than that because I don't want to spoil it, but I felt like it was a really intense scene, which I enjoyed. So I've also got the ebook downloaded onto my phone through my library. My local library has an app called BorrowBox where they have ebooks and audiobooks available. Yeah, you guys should check out wherever you are in the world. Check out your local libraries and see if they have ebooks and audiobooks available. It's a really, really useful way to read books for free or to listen to audiobooks for free. The selection might not be the best, but it is a really good way to have access to free books. But yeah, gonna read for the rest of the evening now, and I'll see you guys in the next couple of days once I've finished this book. Guys, The Crimson Moth broke me. The last 50 pages broke my heart. I finished it last night in bed at around 10:30, 11, and basically I just sobbed. My husband was like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" Yeah, this is the first book this year that's made me cry, which I know we're only in February, but yeah, it's the first book this year that made me cry. I am so glad I only picked this up this month because the second book is coming out on the 18th of February, I think. And I am now counting down the days. I cannot wait to pick it up. I think I'm going to be like one of the ones who's like at the bookstore. I feel like, so it's not a really long fantasy book, but it's only about, yeah, it's about 450 pages. But I feel like the author was able to write such depth to the characters. There is a little bit of a love triangle. I flipped back and forth between which brother I preferred, but I think I ended up preferring Gideon, even though I think I started off liking Alex. So the banter and the secrecy and the mystery of it, of them trying to figure each other out, was really fun to read. But yeah, I would definitely recommend picking it up if you haven't already. Tomorrow I'll pick up the audiobook for This Woven Kingdom. There are 3 books out at the moment, and I think there are going to be 2 more books coming out. So I've started the audiobook for This Woven Kingdom. I'm about 20% of the way through, or maybe not even 20%, maybe like 15% of the way through. And so far, I think I'm enjoying it. I hear a lot of people talk about Shatter Me. I haven't read that series yet. I want to put that onto my TBR to read. But a lot of people talk about so much hype about the Shatter Me series. I don't hear too many people talk about This Woven Kingdom, but the few people that I have heard about talking about This Woven Kingdom have said that they actually enjoy this series much more than they do Shatter Me. But I'll have to read both at some stage and then have a look and see at which one I prefer. So This Woven Kingdom is inspired by Persian mythology, which I don't know a lot about, so it's been quite interesting reading the first couple of chapters and getting into that world. So just to let you guys know a little bit about what this series is about, our FMC, she is the long lost heir to the Jinn kingdom. Jinn are more powerful beings than humans in this story, and they are quite rare. They are also outcast or shunned by society, so they have to hide their powers. So our FMC, she has to go in hiding, and she works as a servant at the palace. No one knows who she is. And then our main male character, Cameron, he is the prince, and he takes notice of her. So far, he hasn't seen her face because all servants have to keep their face semi-concealed. So he hasn't seen her yet. So it'll be interesting to see what his reaction is when he sees her face for the first time. But so far, he is suspicious of our main female character. She holds herself more regally. But yeah, I'm only 15-20% of the way through so far, but I'm keen to carry on. I must admit, with this audiobook, I did actually have to listen to the first chapter over again because it took me a little bit of time to get into it. But now that I'm about 2 hours in, now I'm into it and enjoying it. This book is a dual POV, so we have our main female character's POV and our main male character's POV. But usually with audiobooks, they'll have 2 different voice actors. But in this book so far, we've only had one voice actor playing both the main male character and the main female character. So that's also taken some time to get used to. I think I prefer it when there are 2 different voice actors. But yeah, I will continue tomorrow with the audiobook. I will probably listen to it on my way to work. I'll catch you guys with an update on This Woven Kingdom soon. So I've just finished This Woven Kingdom, and I've had to download the next book straight away. I went into my library app and downloaded the next book straight away. Sorry, this kitty thinks he is the boss of everyone in this house, and he definitely is. So when I was about 30 or 40% through the book, I updated you guys, thinking that there was going to be a ball scene soon. And I was waiting for that ball scene to happen before I updated you guys again. Little did I know that ball scene was only happening at the end of the book. I feel like the book really gave me some Cinderella vibes. I don't know if anyone else felt that way. It really felt like a fairy tale, which I really enjoyed, but felt like the book was slow to start off with. But the last half of the book definitely picked up. And like I said, once I finished the book, I went straight to my library app and downloaded the next audiobook. So we'll definitely be starting that soon. I ended up giving this Woven Kingdom a 4-star because even though the first part was quite slow, I ended up really enjoying the book. Sorry, that's just my cat knocking over a cup in the background. But yeah, ended up giving it a 4-star. I am very excited to pick up the next book to see where the story goes. So just to recap the books that I listened to on audiobook for this vlog, the first one was The Wren in the Holly Library. I gave that a 3.5 star. The second book was The Crimson Moth, or The Heartless Hunter, and I gave that a 5-star. Really enjoyed that one. It was nice to have a 5-star book in this video. And then the third book was the one I've just finished now, The Woven Kingdom, which I've given a 4-star. So overall, a pretty successful reading vlog. But yeah, reading books via audiobooks really do count. I feel like some people say that it doesn't, but I feel like audiobooks really, really count. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.